We're not buying it. It's not happening.
And then of course an iced coffee.
And I just don't want to read that. Like, time to do some Pinterest scrolling. Hey, welcome back. Today's video is gonna be just more of a chill, cozy, bookish day in my life. Unfortunately, my internet has been out like all weekend. Today's Sunday and it started, I believe, yesterday. So I guess that means we're really forced to kind of do some cozy crafting, some reading, some book unhauling. All the bookish things that I've low-key kind of been putting off a little bit are gonna get done today. I want to start off, I think, with doing my book unhaul of my TBR cart. It's the cart I use in every single TBR jar picks my TBR video. I have so many books on there, and honestly I feel like the last like 6 months or so I've just been picking off books that I like will be buying new, if that makes sense. So a lot of the books on there have been on there for years and I just haven't read them, and I continuously pick books over them, so I don't really know if I'm gonna get to them anytime soon. That clearly means that I'm just like not interested in reading them, so I think we're just gonna go through that. I keep looking this way because that's where the cart is and I'm just like staring at it. Going into the new year, I want to kind of focus more on mood reading a lot. And I feel like if I have a TBR cart full of books that I'm like into in that current moment, it'll be so much better for me. And it's also kind of overwhelming having so many books on there because, like I mentioned, I'm not getting anywhere. Like, it's been the same. We just need to make it smaller. We need to cut some out. It's 3 tiers, so I want to add kind of my crafting supplies to the bottom tier. I've been really getting into coloring, book journaling, diamond painting, puzzling, like so many crafts that I want to continue on in the new year. So I think having like a dedicated little spot for them would be a great idea, and it would also make less room for me to add new books onto. So overall, I just think it would be a fantastic idea. I also want to update my reading journal in this video because it's December. I have to do like November and December, and then am I doing a reading journal in 2026? I don't even know because I haven't started, and that should probably be something I do soon. The brief synopsis of everything that's going on. It's a bit cluttery in my brain right now, so let's get started with a book unhaul. This is the TBR cart right behind me. We need to figure out what I want to keep and what I want to get rid of. Brought you guys a little bit closer so you can really kind of tell what we have going on. Can you see the 3rd tier? I think you can, but this is too much happening. I also have this lamp here, which I think we're gonna put down here right now while I work on the cart and doing a bit of an unhaul. She's literally about to fall, like, and collapse. Now, I think we can start by maybe taking everything out and then putting, whoa, we're already having a catastrophe. And then putting books back on here that I know I wanna keep and I know I want to read soon. So I think that's the plan. Okay, I finished clearing the cart and we have a couple of piles now here on my side. As you can see, we have this big one, which I think are the books that I do want to keep, which is obviously still a lot. I still want to keep these books. I do actively want to read them. They're still interesting to me. And then I have 2 other piles. This one here that I'm gathering are maybes. These are books that are still I want to read, but they've just either sat on the cart for too long or I don't know if I'm gonna get to them anytime soon. And then our 3rd pile is this one, which are the books that I think I'm pretty sure I'm gonna unhaul. Now, I just quickly want to show you guys kind of the books that I want to unhaul and why. And so that's this pile here. First one being Business or Pleasure. This is like a rom-com. I feel like I've kind of grown out of this style of rom-com. I still love romances and romantic comedies as well, but I feel like I just totally always gravitate towards romances that have like more of that emotional aspect and are just like a bit deeper. This just really doesn't interest me at all. I remember buying it at Barnes, sat on the cart for probably like 2 years, and I just have zero interest in reading it. I have Dishonestly Yours, which in one of my recent TBR videos, I almost chose this for the TBR, and I made the executive decision to unhaul it because I feel like I'm just not interested in it. I've heard not so great things about this little mini series, and I'm still trying to finish the Addicted series by these 2 authors, so I think that's like my main priority. And then once I'm done with that, I think that will be all that I read by those authors. I don't know. I like them. I don't have an issue with them. I'm just not interested in more of their work. I mean, reading like 10 plus books of theirs is, I think, good enough for me. I want to branch out and read other authors. And so I think this, I've had zero interest in reading it. Next, we have A Weather Girl, which is also another book that I bought at Barnes. Another one of those kind of rom-coms that I feel like I'm just not into too much of anymore. Kind of grown out of it. Don't really feel interested. This would be such a cute read for like spring, because obviously it's like the weather is changing, it's getting rainy, but it just doesn't really interest me. And I feel like when I pick these books up, it tends to take me so long to finish them because I'm just not that interested in them. And obviously that's not like the greatest sign in my opinion. I have The Switch by Beth O'Leary, which is kind of sad because I really like this author and I would want to read this book, but it sat on the cart for 2+ years and I just don't think I'm going to pick it up anytime soon. So I would rather just unhaul it and let someone else have the chance to read it. Then we have Travis by Mia Sheridan. This is, I think, like the second book after Archer's Voice, which I love that book. But then I think my love for that book convinced me to buy this book when I truly don't really have any interest in reading this book. Travis is a very not so good character in Archer's Voice, and so this is kind of like his redemption story or just background about him as a character in general. And I don't know, I'm not super interested in seeing what that's about or to see what his background is. I don't know why I bought this at Barnes. I think that's also an issue I have, is I'll go into the bookstore and I feel like I have to buy something, like I have to walk out with a book, and that's just not the case. Going into 2026, I'm being so very intentional about my book buying. I think I definitely want to buy more books that I've already read and want to add to my collection versus buying new releases or just new books in general and not really knowing if I'll even like them. I think I will still do that, but maybe once every few months I'll actually buy books that I've never heard about or think will be interesting to add to my cart. But I want to focus more on building my actual collection with books that I already love, and I definitely have a little list going. Next we have The Maidens by Alex Emika. I don't know his last name, but this book has actually made it past so many unhauls and I don't know how. I have yet to pick it up. I have yet to even really deliberated on picking it up. It's just not something that's going to catch my eye anytime soon. It's done its time on the cart and it's time for it to go. Then we have Cassandra in Reverse. This one's actually sad because I got it from the Aardvark book club, I think is what it's called. It's like a subscription based book club. And I ordered this one because I was super into Reese's book club for the last like few years. This year I feel like I really kind of neglected it and just haven't been reading them as much, but I just remember every time one book would be announced, I'd be like, okay, I have to have it. And I do have quite a few books in my Reese's book club collection, which are actually off to the side here, and I might have to unhaul some of those too, just because I feel like, again, it's not really a priority of mine anymore, so there's no reason for me to keep collecting those. And this one in particular doesn't have really the greatest reviews, and I have no interest in reading it. Another Reese's book club book group. This is actually like a nonfiction book. It says How One Therapist and a Circle of Strangers Saved My Life. This sounds really interesting, and I've tried time and time again to get myself to read it, but I just have no interest. It sounds like such an interesting book. I just don't want to read it. Next we have books that are maybes, which I'm more so, I feel like I would pick these books up more so than these. So these for sure have to go. These I'm still thinking about. First one being The Sentence. Been on my TBR for so long, but I still feel like I really want to read this. So I feel like it's just not the right time, or it hasn't been, but I will one day pick this up. Next we have I Am Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter. I'm Mexican. That's really the only reason why I've kept this book. The Way I Used to Be, I actually have heard great things about this. Picked this up from a little free library and I am interested in reading it. I just haven't really felt the want to since picking it up. So I'm like, is it going to be one of those books that sits on the cart for years? Black Cake, another really good book I've heard so many great things about. I just haven't felt the want to read it, but in the similar vein of Wrong Time, I just feel like I will one day pick these up and love them. Somebody's Daughter, a memoir. I don't know. I don't really feel like I need to read this. I don't even know what it's about. Oh, I think this one has sentimental, nostalgic feelings tied to it because it was my very first book of the month club book ever. So yeah, I think that's why I'm like, aw, but I don't know. Ola Dies Dreaming. This is also a Hispanic or Latina author, so that's like enticing, but I don't know if I will ever actually read it. Then we have Wayward, which I actually do remember earlier this year saying, if I don't read this in the fall, it's getting unhauled. I still feel like I want to keep it. I love the cover. It is so cute. I read about 50% of this book, I think last year, and it just wasn't for me. I soft DNF'd it. I don't know. Then these are the last three on the list. Silka's Journey. I actually have this entire like trilogy. It's the Tattooist of Auschwitz. I will one day want to read these, I feel. So I think this one might actually go in the keep pile. I just haven't read it. But I think historical fiction is going to have a resurgence with me this upcoming year. This one I've heard amazing things about. This one has been on the TBR multiple times. Haven't picked it up. I feel like I'm just intimidated by it and I don't know why, but I've heard phenomenal things. Lastly, Ramon and Julieta, another rom-com, but obviously this one is like Latinos, so I do want to keep it because of that, but I don't know if I'm really gonna actually pick it up or read it. Then lastly, we have all these other books that I'm for sure keeping. These are the ones, it's literally one big tall pile. I'm not gonna go through all of these, I think, just because you'll see them on my TBR cart month and month again. Unless you guys want me to go through these ones that I'm keeping and why, maybe I will really quickly. First, we have Necessary Lies by Diane Chamberlain. This author is really good. I've read 2 of her other books and they're like mystery thrillers and they've been really good for me so far, so I'm interested in continuing that. We have A Half-Baked Murder, been on the TBR multiple times, but I do want to read it. It looks interesting. I don't know. I want to read it. Fuel the Fire, this is the next book in the Addicted series that I was just mentioning, so I have to read this soon. Another book that I said I have to read in the fall because look at the cover. Once Upon a Broken Heart, Stephanie Garber, definitely gonna go into this series soon. Nothing Like the Movies, this is the second book after Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. Loved the first book, so I definitely think I will be reading this soon. Brave New World, this is a classic. Definitely want to check that out in the new year. Mates by Ali Hazelwood, I've actually debated picking this up like frequently, so I don't know, I might be reading this soon and it's matching my shirt really well. Like, is this a sign? Holly by Stephen King. Honestly, the 2 Stephen King books that I've read I haven't loved, but this one is more horror. The other 2 are more like historical fiction, so maybe I need to read a Stephen King horror book, and this is the book that it'll be. The Things We Leave Unfinished by Rebecca Yarros. I've heard really good things about this book. The Names by Florence Knapp. Reading this ASAP because I've heard phenomenal things about this book. We have The Little Liar. The Little Liar by Mitch Albom. Bought this literally a couple weeks ago and this is my newest book that I've bought, so still interested in reading this. The Handmaid's Tale, another classic dystopian book that I want to get into soon. Wild Side, Elsie Silver. This is book 3 in the Rose Hill series. One Dark Window, have been dying to start this fantasy series for a long time now. We have The Hobbit. Maybe? I don't know. This was gifted to me, or like I kind of thrifted it from my brother-in-law, so I would want to check it out. The cover's really cool too. It's like a cult classic. Yes, I do need to continue the Game of Thrones series. I can't believe I didn't read a single book in this series this year. That is going to change in 2026, I promise. I think I've just been putting this book off specifically because if you know, you know, The Red Wedding is in this book and I just don't want to read that. Like, I'm terrified. But I have to. I love this series. Demon Copperhead is a book that I'm so excited to read. It's like super anticipated for me, but I feel like that's the reason why I've also been pushing it off. When books have that much of like high esteem around them, I push them off and that's what happened. But I definitely want to read this. The Vanishing Half, I want to read this. It's been on my TBR since 2022. I bought this in Spain. I remember clearly. It's been 3 years. I'm keeping it though. Anatomy, a Love Story. I totally overlooked this fall, but this would be so cute to read in the fall. It's a fantasy YA and I just think it's really cute. As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow, I've heard that this is an emotional wreck, but I do still want to read this. Anita Del Monte Laughs Last, another Reese's Book Club book that I picked up when I wasn't even sure if I was going to read it, but I don't know. I'm still interested to check this one out. Last but not least is Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. This has also been on the cart for quite a while, but I feel like I would like it and I'm going to keep it. Those are all the books that are going to go back on the TBR cart. I don't know what I'm going to do about my maybe pile. I might keep those separately, and if I pick them up in the next like 3 months, then obviously, like if I want to read them in the next 3 months, I'll keep them. If I don't even think about them, I think it's a sign that I should unhaul them. Oh my gosh, I'm so impressed. All the books that I am planning on keeping fit almost perfectly on just 2 shelves. I do still have my pile of maybes that I'm still gonna think about, But this is perfect. Now we have this bottom rung to really kind of work with and do whatever I want. I do just see 2 books that are on my winter TBR that are behind the camera. These are not gonna fit on the cart, but it's The Secret History and Bury Our Bones and The Midnight Soil. I think I'm gonna just keep these off the cart and try to read these ASAP. Or no, I should put them on here. I still have room back here so I can add these, but I think that's the goal for the new year is if it doesn't fit, it's not going on here. You're not buying it. It's not happening. So we will see how that works out for me. But so far, this has been successful. I'm happy. Taking a break from our bookish activities and we're gonna make some breakfast. Usually I would have some sort of Christmas ambiance going on music-wise and then like a cozy video on the TV just to, you know, set the mood. But since my internet is down, I have nothing. So here we are. We are making soy rizo egg burritos just because I have an avocado that I cut into, I think yesterday. So I want to use this up, and then we have soy rizo, we have cheese, we have eggs. So we're just going to put it all together. Of course, we have tortillas and our comal. Finished making breakfast. It's just a little soy rizo egg scramble with avocado, and then I peeled pomegranate the other day, so we have a bunch in the fridge, so we're gonna snack on this, and then of course an iced coffee. Also, recent purchase that is so worth it, this right here. It's like the espresso knocker. It has a really funny name too. It's literally like has the name knocker in the name or the title of it, but this is so clutch. Previously we were like struggling to empty this out all the time and like slamming it on the trash can, doing all sorts of things. So if you don't have one of those, it's like less than $10 I think, or like $10, and it's so worth it. Now I'm gonna eat. I'll catch you guys after. Here in the background you can see I actually ended up changing the layout a little bit of the TBR cart. I put the hardcovers on top because it makes it easier to grab them, and then on the bottom there I put my crafting basket, which I'll grab in a minute because I want to work on my reading journal. Let me first set the mood a little bit. This candle is from Anthropologie, and I always shop their like little clearance section, and they always have these candles. They smell phenomenal. They're some of my favorite candles. Like I mentioned, if you get them on clearance, they're like maybe $10, which is not bad, I feel like, because they're like a decent size, but they're super, super fragrant and they just smell really good. This one's pumpkin and sweet vanilla, and this other one was like a spring one that I still haven't used up. It is honey crisp and oak wood. Definitely recommend. Quickly, I wanted to share a little bit about kind of some bookish themed things. I don't know if I'm gonna do a whole gift guide on here. I don't think I will, but if anything, I might do like one of those trendy videos that's like, oh, if I didn't already have this, this is what I would buy sort of idea. So I'm thinking about doing that, but one thing for sure that I love is bookish merch. If you guys can't see, this literally says book lover on here, embroidered. It is so cute, so comfy. I actually just bought this for myself from the Common Room shop. That's a shop on Instagram that I absolutely love. And then one more kind of, it's not super bookish, but it's pretty crafty, are these Bobby Goods and oh hoo hoo, I don't know how to say that, but they're markers. I have a Bobby Goods coloring book already and I love it. It is so aesthetic and is so cute. It comes with one of these, which I'm pretty sure is like a thing to put in between your drawing pages or your coloring pages so the ink or so the marker ink doesn't bleed through. But look at how freaking cute this is. It has a whole carrying case, which I love, and then it has all these super aesthetic pastel colors, which I do already have a lot of colors, but I feel like sometimes I have to buy from like multiple bundles or whatever because they're just not what I want. And I was missing like a red. This has a red, and I'm just so excited to try these out with a coloring book. And I love that it has a carrying case because right now I have them in that bookshelf right there in that green basket, and it makes it, I can't like take that to the park or something. But this, like with my coloring book, my fiance actually just bought a kite, like a huge one, and so he's like, oh my gosh, when we go to the park and I fly my kite, you can be coloring. And now I have this cute little carrying case, so I'm obsessed with this. I don't know if this was like a limited release. I think it might have been. They actually released it twice now, and I was able to snag one, and it's just so cute. I can't wait to use this. I might do coloring later today just to try it out. It even comes with the little test pages, and it has some freaking bears on it. So very, very excited about this purchase. You cannot go wrong with an aesthetic coloring book from Bobby Goods. Genuinely enjoy the product as well as this bookish merch. The box was even so cute. So anyway, I wanted to share about some of those recent purchases that I've made. Now I want to focus on my reading journal, which I feel like I've talked about a lot recently. I have been putting in some work and now I'm all caught up. This is October red page. Now we need to do a November spread, fill in all of my November pages, and then start on December. I do think I want to do a reading journal for 2026. I just think it'll be a little bit more simplified. I've gotten a few ideas already too from booktube and I really, really like that. I don't think it'll be as long, or maybe do more of like these general pages in the front, or maybe just add more pages to like my like I'm for sure going to be doing a reading bucket list. I really liked that. Maybe doing a series tracker a lot, like with a lot more pages, because I started quite a few series this year, I think. And so being able to keep track of this on multiple pages, I think will be better. And then for each month, I try to do like the month page, the TBR, stats, the red page, and sometimes I would even have like an extra page. So I don't think I'm going to do that monthly, just because that's what caused me, I feel like, to fall behind, because it's just so much to keep up with. This time around, I'll probably do like January, February, like every single month, all of my TBR pages, like my TBR cart. And then I will do like January through December for the red books, if that makes any sense at all. I do have all of my little printouts that I have all ready, so I just need to get started on this November page. That's really what I'm going to focus on today. I have just started thinking about the 2026 version, and I don't know what kind of notebook I want or journal. I think for sure I'll get a new one, obviously. I don't know from where yet, and I already know it's going to be a commitment to start everything all over again. I also have this. I showed a few months back. I ordered this very impulsively. This is for my partner. I got him a journal and it's called The Movies, because he watches movies every single day. So I would like to make like kind of a movie journal for him. And I have started out with my title page for him. It just says movies. And I think adding just some like maybe like TBR but for movie pages, and then just keeping track of the movies that he reads or watches, that would be kind of cool. I don't know. We'll see how much he really uses this. It was a very impulsive purchase, but it's already bought. Nothing we can do about it. So let's focus now on this. I do love how it's like chunky and hard to close, because that just shows like all of the work that I've put into this. And this has taken hours. I didn't realize how time consuming this was going to be at the beginning of the year when I decided to do it. And I think that's why I've fallen behind too. Coffee is so good. All right, let's get started. First, I have to look up some inspo on Pinterest. That is how I figure out what I want to put on every single layout for the month. Title pages. Time to do some Pinterest scrolling. Oh my gosh, I was about to say I forgot I don't have any internet, but it's connected to my hotspot, so perfect. This internet thing is really not cool. Hours later, I decided to just put my head down and work, and now I'm more caught up than I was earlier on today. So let me show you guys what I've been doing. So I showed you guys, I think this was my last page, the October red. I did this as my November layout. I don't love it, but I did it. This I hate. I don't know what happened there, but there's TBR. Here I'm going to put the red books. I realize I don't have the November ones printed, so that is still something I have to do. And then we did this, which is December. So we did December cover page. I only did a half page because I didn't want to do two full ones. And then here's where our TBR is going to go. I found the cutest little like Christmas village. Of course the camera would die mid-sentence, but I was saying I found the Christmas village stickers from Hobby Lobby, and I just think they're so adorable. So this is going to be the TBR page. And then I'll probably just do like a stats one and red later on in the month once I'm ready to like finish my entire journal. But I can't believe like this is the first year of a whole journal for me. I don't know how to feel. I'm a little stressed, overwhelmed, but also feel a bit accomplished. I think I will be doing a whole dedicated video focusing solely on the 2026 journal setup. And then I can also show you guys kind of the final walkthrough of this journal once it's all done. But I think that's it for today. We've done a couple of bookish things. It's only like midday, but I think I'm gonna finish the video here. I am gonna go read the book that I'm currently reading, which I just picked up. I just started a new book, but I'll talk about that in a different video. Thank you guys for spending kind of the morning with me while I did some book unhauling and fixed up my reading journal. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.